Hid the signals deep, buried truth beneath the screens, private meetings underground, while our ships observed your towns. You call legends fantasy, while we mount your history. Every war and every throne, every fear already known. We watched, you obeyed. First contact, now exposed. Every system overloads. You were never left alone. This was planned before your bones. First contact, skies collapse. Human laws no longer last. What was given can be stripped. Civilizations can erase. Can erase.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. It is Memorial Monday day. It is May 25th, 2026. I almost said the wrong thing to you. How is everybody? Enjoying the holiday? I hope so. I know in some parts of the country, you guys are getting rocked by storms. We're supposed to be too, but they're not here. But they're coming. That's what the radar shows. And my radar is working fine in the UFO community. Is yours? Are we right, about the people in this field? Or have we been wrong? Or do people change for the better, for the worse, for whatever? Yes, yes, and yes. Things changed. I've changed 3 different ways till Sunday in this world in the last 22 years. And, I like where things are heading, but I'm questioning things more and more and more and more because right now nothing makes sense. No, this isn't a repeat performance from every show we did last week. But to be honest, I have changed. I watched Sleeping Dog, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I didn't know what to expect watching Sleeping Dog. I ignored most everybody's comments. Oh, you're going to hate it. I've heard that. People here in Goof On, you're not going to like it. Because it's Corbell? I've changed on my view of Corbell just enough that I've got to mention it. And the movie helped me make that decision. I don't know how much of that movie I could take as it being who he is when it comes to this field. But I don't think we were being duped. I don't think the movie gave a false impression of Corbell and or Knapp. It's mainly about Corbell's struggles in this community, in this field, with the government, with people, with whistleblowers, with everybody. Because this is one of those fields, I guess that's what we're saying, because it's a field of research. This is one of those where people want to be known. They want that 15 minutes of fame. They have to stay on top of everybody, Greer. Egos should not be a deciding factor for what you believe in and what you want to say and what you want to do. Your ego needs to be put aside. And we don't see that. I don't see it. Anyway, I want to touch on every little thing that has happened in the last few days, weeks maybe, because it is now that time where it's do or die. Because if we don't get disclosure, and I'm assuming July 8th is still on the table, yeah? With Trump's announcement, because a lot of people saying these tranche releases, these two that we've gotten, is just the beginning. Okay. I hope it's not. I hope it's the end of these UFO videos because it's making things worse. Not better. Not better. Yesterday, I did a little special show because we didn't do a Friday or a Saturday. And looking at the videos, because that's what we went over, I was very, very disappointed. Because we were told we're going to have high definition videos. There were 60 plus, 62, I believe. Whatever. And I thought, the way people were talking, Burchett and other people, that this is going to be smoking gun evidence, undeniable proof of intelligence, of crafts that defy logic and cannot be made by us. I didn't see one thing that told me I'm looking at alien technology or advanced technology. It's bad. And I knew it. I knew it was going to be. And I'm trying not to be that guy that I always am, where everything I say is terrible about what we see, who we are, who we're seeing, who speaks. I can't help it. Because of those videos that we saw, the evidence, it's a game. This is a game to them. And after watching Sleeping Dog, I feel for Corbell and Knapp, but really Corbell because it was based on him. And I'll explain why. Right after we do a little bit of roll call, everybody. Who's here tonight? Brian Yates, everybody. What do you say, B what? Most people challenge as they age. Wait, most PLL is that people change as they age, but some people, PPL is usually what people is, right? But some people just get better at hiding their bullshit. Ooh, very. See? God, that is good. You're right. So I thought about that too. Very good stuff. I'll have to get back on you on that, but good stuff. Remind me. All right, we're doing a roll call. Metalhead. Wait, where it switched on me. There you go. How you doing, Chief? Thanks for earlier today hanging out. Thanks for this. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hey, James. What do you say, January 6th times Tootie? The government videos were taking the piss. Are you from England? I'm just asking because that's something somebody in that part of the world would say. Taking a piss. They did. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Glenn Collins. How's the family and them? Good? You doing okay? See how you do that to me? I'd give it right back. I love you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Cindy Kraus. How you doing, Cindy? CK, everybody. CK. Good to see you too. Stephen Karn. How you doing? I did send a super chat, birds. Good. Good. Thanks, man. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging. There he is, the man with the voice that I never heard. Donnie Creel. You got the name, Chief. Good to see you. How you doing today? Good? Good, good, good. Hope everybody's doing good. FAP! How you doing, man? You subscribe to this channel right now. Good to see you. Oh, scrolling the wrong way. I don't see JJ. Where's Jeanette? There's Sky. Skybird. Good to see you back. How you doing? Flying high again. Flying high 99999. Good to see you. Hello from the UK. Keep eyes to the sky. There's only one sky. Keep your eyes to the sky. There's only one. You'll never hear me say skies. Oh, there was a UFO in the skies. In disguise? Or in the sky? I'm giving you a hard time. I love when people say skies because there's only one. No, that's not true. I have my sky, you have your sky. It's the same one. They're all connected. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hey, there you are. How you doing, JJ? JJ Bird, the angel of Goofon. What would this show be without a JJ Bird? What do you say, Tweety? Tweety. Tweety. Good to see you. Scorber 23. Good number, by the way. How you doing? I don't know if we've ever met, but yeah, thanks for giving Goofon a chance, hanging out. Hope you're having a good weekend, or what's left of it. Hey, Dinkum Ozzy, been around for a mile and a half. What? Thank you for hanging out and supporting the show the way you do's. Thanks. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Glenn Collins, what's this? I want to read this because it's all caps. Fuck, I thought Corbell was going to explode when I'm breathing in all the time, and then to make matters worse, the old lady behind him looks like an alien with gray hair. Aw, you mean his mom? Stop, that's his mommy. I can't say anything bad. I don't know what you're saying there, but it doesn't sound very comforting. She could have been an alien. Hey, you heard it from all the people in the government. You could be sitting next to somebody, even your own sister. Remember, they said that your own sister could be an alien. You wouldn't know it. So I could see, in a strange way, my mother kind of looks like an alien, but they get old and they get, shrinkled. It looks like they need to wear masks. Jeremy Corbell's mom looks old, but I mean, he's 50 now, or will be. I don't know when his birthday is, but he's 50 this year. So I'm 8 years older than him. He was born in 1977. So I guess his mom's around 75. My mom's 82. So I guess his mom looks a little bit older than maybe she is. I don't know. He's probably stressed her out. What's up? Hey, Bob Perkins, what do you say? Two bees are better than one. Boobies. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you for hanging out tonight. If you can, hang out a little bit. Good to see you. All right, if I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you. We just got a lot of show to do. So buckle it up, get your popcorn ready, and roll one in. Roll one in. Roll it up, baby. I can't roll it, so roll it for me. Hey, I haven't had any THC now 6 days straight. I think it's a week tomorrow. Either way, my energy is just like shipping, shipping. And since I quit smoking pot around February 24th. No, God, why do I keep doing that? February 14th, I quit. The reason I know, because that was when the last time I was in the hospital. And when I got out of the hospital, I didn't have any. Right? So that's why I keep saying the 24th. Because I did smoke a little. Yeah, I did. Yeah. But it wasn't like a whole bowl. It was like 2 or 3 hits. Just because I was going through withdrawals. And let me tell you something. Withdrawals suck this time. I never had them like this. But anyway, and then I was taking the THC drops, just 25 milligrams once. I was doing it twice a day. And now I'm not doing it. But then I went to once a day. And now I don't do it. I will. I'm not going to stop. I might even do it tonight before I go work out. But guess what? Haven't been back to the hospital since I quit. The longest I've been without going to the hospital is 4 months. I'm only on 3 months. February, March, April, May. It's only 3 months. But I'm not getting sick like I did. I mean, I went through the shit, but anyway, things are getting better. Thanks for wondering. Which is why I'm not missing shows. Like, you know what I mean? Just a little update. I got a little agita here. So, sleeping dog, I'm going to talk about. But we still have people talking about the tranche of UFOs that were released last week. And I have to, again, terrible, in my opinion. But they keep focusing on the disc-shaped round object because that basically is the only one that was decent. However, if there weren't any other videos to look at, and that was the one, let's just say hey, we've got a video to show you. This is released, it was top secret, not anymore. Check it out. We'd be pissed because it would look like a balloon. And it is nearly impossible to tell where it was heading, the direction, the basic speed of it. They still talk about it like it's the smoking gun evidence. It's awful. It is. I still, for the life of me, can't figure out why they are pushing these videos and imaginary disclosure. I don't get it. Now, sadly, I keep having these visions in my head. Not really, but just thoughts that create the vision of Trump being assassinated before July 8th. If not totally taken out, he will be injured enough that he won't make that announcement. And I keep hearing it over and over and over because, just a few days ago, somebody shot at the White House. Which is really silly because you can't get them through the stained glass windows and the steel walls. Now, the Trump administration is soliciting advice about how to tell the public that we are not alone, apparently. White House officials are consulting with religious leaders, which we learned about a few weeks ago, and seeking advice on the ontological shock of disclosure, per Rose Cuckold from News Nation. Really? Him? You got to hear this. I'm embarrassed that they are even having him talk about the UFO. Just watch. We'll talk about it.
There's a lot of speculation. I'm hearing it.
Hold on. It went ahead. Go.
There's a lot of speculation. I'm hearing it from people inside the administration that the Trump administration is indeed soliciting advice about how to tell the public that we're not alone. There are consultations.
Why? You don't think they've discussed this before? How stupid is this? You know it's a script when this cuck is talking about what he's talking about right now. Really? The White House needs consultation from outside of the White House? They need consulting on how to drop this to the public? No, they're not.
Taking place with spiritual leaders. I'm now able to confirm that. There was some speculation a couple of weeks ago about a group of pastors, but it turned out that wasn't directly related to the White House. But there are religious leaders that have been consulted by the White House. I'm aware of people in the administration who've reached out. I've actually spoken to people myself who've asked what I think would be the, quote, ontological shock for the public. And I've told them that, frankly, I think the biggest shock for the public would be the sense of a betrayal of trust if the government doesn't follow through and tell the whole story. The
whole story will never happen. In the movie Sleeping Dog, John Lear was about half the movie. Which I would never take advice from this guy if he was still alive. However, he agrees with me that there will never, ever, ever, ever be disclosure. It just can't happen. We need the cover-up stories for all of the technological advances that we want to test in the skies. All right. Now, Tim Burchett, Joe, just watch. I don't even know what to say. I've got so many things I have to talk about. I can't think. There, just watch.
Fox News yesterday, where they were talking about the different kinds of entities that the United States government has encountered. Did you see that?
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them Greys, Nordics, Insectoids, and Reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us. Experts speculate the reptilians are scaly with long tails, like a lizard. Insectoids look like a praying mantis. The Greys look like your classic movie alien, and the Nordics look like a regular Swedish guy, but 7 feet tall.
Watching it on Fox News, you're like, is Fox News all of a sudden coast to coast with Art Bell? Like, what the hell has happened? Because they were talking about the reptilians and the Nordics, the Greys.
Because it's news,
Fox
Joe.
News. TV.
Is he? I was gonna say, is he high? Yeah. What an idiot!
Like regular TV. Like, what is going on here? Is that nonsense? Are they being fed nonsense, or is this disclosure? And are they slow trickling this out to us to get regular folks like boomers, get them accustomed to this idea of there are entities out there?
What if they're just acclimating you to the reality of our world? And what if
that's what he just said?
The truth is that there's people around you that are aliens and you don't even know it.
Guys, I'm so sorry to say this, but that is such horse shit. that there's aliens and we wouldn't even know it right next to us? I'm sorry. No. No. I'm telling you, no. You can believe anything you want, obviously. But I mean it. And I keep mentioning the 22 years in this field. There's people who have doubled that, who don't believe a word the government's saying. And then there's people who've been doing this 50 years who believe it, who say it's definitely true. I am really positive. I feel that the government doesn't really know or understand completely what's going on. But I know in my heart that there is something going on. John Lear made a comment in the movie Sleeping Dog. It was a good one. He said, everybody's been abducted. Everybody? Yeah. I believe it. You want to know why? I don't think you care either way, to be honest. But I'll tell you anyway. Because maybe you believe what I believe, or maybe you have something different up your sleeve you want to get out. Too many people dream about aliens that don't even care about aliens. When I was a kid, I told you guys I had these dreams, man. I was shrunk down to a little being smaller than a dust bunny. You know, like probably this big. Don't ask me why. To this day, I still have crazy effing dreams about aliens. Doesn't mean I'm speaking for all of you, but a lot of us have had dreams and or experiences with aliens, mainly the Greys. I think that's weird. And if we have all been taken, it would make sense. Look, I used to say, why do the aliens, if they're abducting us, need to keep abducting us? Why? Well, they can check our poop for, our intestines for climate change to see. You would think they would know, right? But this is just one part of everything that's happening. They check our sperm count for men. They check eggs for women. I mean, all sorts of things you can imagine. And it's not just me, you, and the people around you. It's the world. It's the world. Everybody's abducted. That's why they're still doing it. You have about, 8 billion people now on the earth? And how many aliens are out there? We don't know. Well, apparently there's 4 groups of them. And they all just happen to have 2 arms, 2 legs, stereoptic eyes, a nose, 2 ears. The odds of that to happen are so astronomical. It's laughable. But there's a loophole in everything I'm going to say tonight. There's a loophole. Hybrids. Mixing DNA. Of course you're going to have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 nose. Right? In 1964, a UFO allegedly made a planned landing at New Mexico's top secret Stallion Range for a diplomatic exchange with the U.S. military. Have you heard about this? Yeah, Richard Doty's story is either the ultimate disclosure or a Cold War disinformation masterpiece. And then the question is, what do you believe? Not Dick Doty. This is a 23-minute. No, this is 2 minutes, I think. Let's play this.
Bottom panel of the craft opened. Two strange-looking beings exited the craft. One of the creatures made a hand motion indicating for the technicians to enter the craft. One of the MPs pointed his rifle, an M16 rifle, at the creature and motioned for it to come with him. There's no way that the military policemen could have detained these two creatures. They tried. Hello, my name is Richard Doty. I'm a former intelligence officer with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. This presentation is going to explain what happened at Stallion Range.
God, I hate this guy.
Is a top secret radar facility located in northern White Sands Test Range, New Mexico. Stallion Range is the entrance into Trinity Site. Trinity Site was a location where the first atomic bomb was tested by the United States Army in Los Alamos Laboratory in 1945.
Los Alamos.
Stallion Range contains a classified ground-to-air laser system that is used to blind passing foreign satellites. Now, this isn't classified anymore. Was for many, many, many years. The location and the duties and the operations at Stallion Range was highly classified. But over the years, the information has leaked out. Books have been written about this. People have lectured about this laser system that we developed to blind Soviet satellites back in the Cold War era that were passing over the United States. And Stallion Range was one of these facilities, one of many facilities that contain these types of lasers that was able to blind the satellites as they were flying over to keep the Soviets from photographing highly classified things on the ground. Detachment 1 Space Surveillance Squadron was located at the Stallion Range. That was operated by the United States Air Force. Detachment 1 was a part of a number of detachments that operated remote radar locations around the world. Headquarters for this operation was at Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado. Stallion Range is 18.
I'm going to look at the chat room real quick. Richard Doty has got to be the worst of everything. Not because of what he did to what's his name in the past and made up all those lies and made that guy go insane. It's him. He's just, there's something that just doesn't sit right with me. And I think it's because I see somebody who is untrustworthy. And that is just my opinion. I'm going to look at the chat room here and see what you guys are thinking about. Beza, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. What do you say? Hi, all. Something is going on. However, we won't be privy to it. I've been forming my own opinion. Waiting for Bigfoot, and he usually comes around in June. Ooh, I'm excited for that. I am, Beza. Thank you for hanging out. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye out. June, huh? Okay. Is this Bob Burks? All right. Hey, Bob, thanks for the comment. If we look at the great picture, Richie, some have special bodies, some special abilities, made for a job or another. Not sure if there's a coincidence there. So you're saying look at the big picture. Some have special bodies, some have special abilities. Oh, I see, when I was talking 2 arms, 2 legs and stuff. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying, for sure. Happy Memorial Day. Hey, Helicity, how are you? Good, thank you for hanging out. There it is. Brooke is, huh? Sorry, Helicity, there you are. Happy Memorial Day, Goofonian friends. Sorry to be late. Oh, no, you didn't miss much. Planet Serpo, yes. I thought, for some reason, I thought it said Serpico. Isn't that wild how your brain works? Thank you. Bob says some are born crippled to focus on. Oh. So some people are born with disabilities, which will enhance something else about them. Don't buy that. Why don't they just give them the abilities? Oh, you know why? I figured it out. Because that's the way it's been done for billions of years. No, because if it allows them, like let's say you're born with just one leg, well, you're not going to be a sprinter, but maybe, just maybe, you'll be one of those people who invents a new leg or a prosthetic or something like that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Interesting thought. I never thought of it that way. That's really wild. Robots would not need a wheelchair. No. Rich, says Dan Peters. How you doing, Dan? Did I not say hi to you? I don't know if I missed you. I'm sorry, but hey, how you doing? Hey, Rich, Rich, there is truth to part of it. Doty, gray the waters. Yeah, maybe. And I'm sure you're right about that. There is truth in a lot of these stories we hear. But how do we know what to believe and what not? I know people say do your own research. Yeah, Paul Benowitz. God, thank you, Brian. Thank you. He is responsible for it. Yeah, and I hope Doty has high blood pressure and bad sleep habits because of it. Hey, Paula Faust, how are you? Happy Memorial Day to you too. Thank you very much. All right, good to see you. Let's see. Dan Peters says you overseas people, the CIA, not part of space program anymore. Just intel and foreign tech aliens or not. Yep. Okay. Thor says, Rich, you forgot that you smoked. No. Yeah, I know. I did. No, I didn't smoke on 420. I did drops. I did the drops on 420. Although, to be honest with you, Thor, I don't remember. I don't remember. I know I was going to. I don't think I did. But it is possible because I don't remember smoking. And I would remember, I know on 420, I took drops. I took 50 milligrams that day, just that day, and it lasted through the next day. It's not a lot. I used to, smoke a lot. But if I did, then I must have. I mean, it's possible. I probably didn't smoke a whole bowl if I did. I just don't remember. But good to see you, man. Happy Memorial Day to you and yours. Good, good, good. Brian Yates says, classic misinfo, Rich, flood the zone with bees so people can't tell what's true. Yeah, flood the zone with BS. I got you. Oh, good. I love to hear that for you, Paula. You had an awesome day, an excellent day. Good. There you are. I see your face smiling. Hey, Argo Tanza. Very nice to see you, and thank you for your messages. We learn nothing from lights in the sky, only from personal interchange between us and them. 100%. The only thing we could learn from the sky is that this is where it happened. That's it. Other than that, unless there were some movements that were captured either on a satellite or camera, you really don't learn much. I'm looking for more. I was pulling weeds. I remember you saying that. Yeah, I do too. I remember saying that I was going to smoke on 420. I probably did, but I'll be honest with you. I don't think I did. God, maybe it'll come back and remind me. I'm thinking of that day. I went to the dispensary on the 14th because they were having specials all month. And I didn't go there on the 20th. And then on April 20th, I don't know. I just don't remember. That's okay, though. Hey, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Thor, for making my brain freak out. All right. President Trump's top officials told Burchett they are facing resistance on the UFO files. There we go. Now we're starting to get it. If they... Hello. I accidentally did something. Burchett says if they don't kill him first, he's going to turn the tables on this thing. What? How can you say such a thing? I hate that they're trying to take him out. I fucking hate it.
We're releasing it all. Well, the reality is they're not releasing it all. There's things that I've seen and people that I've talked to that don't have the clearance or the ability to come out and talk.
Clearance.
And we've got to break through that. We've got to break through that. And I congratulate the president on his honesty to me, but as some of his top people have told me, that they're getting a lot of resistance. And he said, "What do you think it is?" I said, "Mr. President, I really honestly don't know the answer to that." I said, "But I think we need to know. And I think you're the president to do it." And he is. I mean, if they don't kill him first, he's going to turn the tables on this thing. They say, "Oh, well, we're releasing it all." Well, the reality is they're not releasing it all. There's things that I've seen.
Hold on. Okay. I thought I accidentally did something else. Okay. We're going to get to Corbell's movie in a minute. No big rush. I mean, it's not much more I'm going to say anyway. Army remote viewer Paul Smith describes a session with Hal Puthoff where a team was tasked with remotely reviewing the Nimitz incident. The Nimitz tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac UFO. Guys, I can't believe this stupid story. I don't like... Look, you know what I need? Stop. I need to get later. What? I need more than 2 witnesses to the Nimitz, the tic-tac. Even though Fravor said there's 4 witnesses, we only heard from him and the girl, wingman. What was her name again? That's it, right? Just those 2? Alleged 40 other people saw the tic-tac from on a... Am I mixing that up with something else? Hold on. There were only 2 witnesses. I thought the crewmen on the aircraft carrier saw something. I thought they saw the tic-tac. Maybe I'm wrong.
Passed by under the well, I can't think of the name of the program now. By not by Hal, he was the technical advisor to it, and to get together a team, and we were given a facility in a western U.S. city that was actually purposely reconfigured to match as close as possible the kinds of environments we had in the controlled remote viewing training in the Stargate program. So they took rooms, they soundproofed them, they painted them gray, they had gray furniture. I think we even did have adjustable lighting and all the kinds of stuff we had. And then I brought in at least 6 viewers. I think I had 3 monitors. I had an admin guy. I picked my best friend from growing up, who was really actually quite good at it. He came in, myself, and then the client provided 2 analysts who apparently also were unwitting as to the target. And then we proceeded to remote view this thing for a full week. And at the end, once I found out what the target was, I was quite disappointed. And I found that out, but by the time I got business, when I still lived in Austin, I got back to Austin and I knew Hal was involved in this project. So I went in to visit him in his lab and we had a conversation, and I said, we apparently didn't do very well at all, and I'm trying to figure out why that was. I have some theories right now. And he said, well, you know what the target was, don't you? I said, I have no idea what the target was. And he proceeded to tell me about the Nimitz encounter. So, and I agree, we didn't do.
Is he saying they couldn't view it? That would be awfully interesting, right? Let's listen.
Very well. And I think, the problem is anytime you try and tease out the reason why you didn't do well when you expected to do, people think that you're just making excuses, right?
That was it. I thought there was another minute left. Sometimes, I am freaking out lately with time. I used to be accurate on a lot of things. Like I could tell how long an hour is easily without looking at a watch. Anyway, did they didn't cap. I got to listen to this again. Hold on. It's coming up.
Well, I can't think of the name of the program now. Not by Hal, he was the technical advisor to it, and to get together a team, and we were given a facility in a western U.S. city that was actually purposely reconfigured to match as close as possible the kinds of environments we had in the controlled remote viewing training in the Stargate program. So they took rooms, they soundproofed them, they painted them gray, they had gray furniture. I think we even did have adjustable lighting and all the kinds of stuff we had. And then I brought in at least 6 viewers. I think I had 3 monitors. I had an admin guy. I picked my best friend from growing up, who was really actually quite good at it. He came in.
Hey, thank you, Happy. Welcome to Goof On tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out on Memorial Day, Holiday Day. And a $5 Happy 2026. Well, no. I said that wrong. $5 from Happy 2026, LOL. With beautiful emojis. Hey, stay cool with the UFOs. Love UFOs. Yay, aliens. Emojis. Thank you very much for that support. I did forget to tell everybody, hey, if you want to help support Truthology for Ufology, all the links are in the show description. Everything goes back into the show, obviously. Thank you so much. Yeah, right on. Thank you. A continuing supporter of Goof On. That's you.
Myself, and then the client provided 2 analysts who apparently also were unwitting as to the target. And then we proceeded to remote view this thing for a full week. And at the end, once I found out what the target was, I was quite disappointed. And I found that out, but by the time I got business, when I still lived in Austin, I got back to Austin and I knew Hal was involved in this project. So I went in to visit him in his lab and we had a conversation, and I said, we apparently didn't do very well at all, and I'm trying to figure out why that was. I have some theories right now. And he said, well, you know what the target was, don't you? I said, I have no idea what the target was. And he proceeded to tell me about the Nimitz encounter.
That blows my mind. I have never heard of someone who was asked to find out something that had to do with the government UFO or Mars or not have evidence. Now, here's what I think happened. I think they got it. I think they're telling us a lie. They don't want us to know something. Now, I could be that conspiracy guy, of course. Why not? It's fun. But it's not right. I don't know what's going on. But for them to admit that they had no success is awfully strange. So think about it. They bring in a few of his buddies who are really good at remote viewing, don't get any answers. A full week. A full week? So you know what I think? It never happened. Which is why we only have a couple of witnesses to it. And nobody else has come forward under oath. Yeah. Isn't that wild? See, I'll give you another reason why I think the Tic Tac is a bullshit. The Nimitz incident is a bullshit sighting. There has never been another one like it. I still haven't seen a Tic Tac video of any of those UFOs resembling a Tic Tac. Sure, people try to give us airplanes that are reflecting the sun at a certain angle and it looks like a Tic Tac, but we all know those sightings, it's airplanes. That's what I think. Because if something doesn't make sense and this one doesn't, then something's wrong. This next one it just blows my mind what Tim Burchett believes. I don't know. But he's spewing out some awfully interesting stuff that we need to pay attention to. Burchett says he received photos and videos along with descriptions of 8 different alien species, but remains skeptical until he sees one himself. Really? 8 now? So it's doubled in the last couple of months. It's now doubled to 8.
I've heard the definition of about 8 different species. I don't know till I see it. Till I shake hands or paws or whatever they got with them.
Pause.
I get sent a lot of material, and I get a lot of pictures and videos, and people want me to come out to the house and see something. I'm always afraid I'll end up in a freezer in North Carolina doing a family of cannibals will get me or something. But no, I'm very cautious about that. I've got a bookshelf full of books that people have sent me. You got to read this. It explains it, and what it is and what's going on. And I'm really cautious about all that.
And he should be, man. It just doubled because there's really 72, right? Isn't this something like 72? And it's amazing to me. They all have 2 arms and 2 legs. Fingers vary. You know what's so weird about it? The fact that they have 2 arms and 2 legs, 2 eyes, ears, the whole thing is, a little variation on, a skeletoid maybe, or an insectoid or reptilioid. I will believe the person who tells me they had an engagement with an octopus-looking creature. That the only way it could communicate one-on-one, it had to be in some sort of bubble with its own variation on atmosphere and pressure and everything. Not breathing air like we have here on Earth. See? Got to think of this stuff. What do you mean? Everybody's got 2 arms and 2 legs? I don't know who it was. I think it was Neil deGrasse Hole Tyson or one of these physicists, astrophysicists, whatever they're called. who said another planet, let's say an alien visits us, for it to have 2 arms and 2 legs, almost impossible. The odds are just too big. That's why I don't believe this stuff. It's not making any sense. You know what I mean? So Greer says Congress, with their weak hearings that have had nobody of any significance testify, he says, he's throwing shade on everything right now. And he says real UFO disclosure requires an executive order, subpoenas, and open congressional hearings. He's right. I agree with that. I want to hear him say it, though.
Ultimately, it's going to take a decisive action that'll have to come from the top. Or, in the alternative, as an co-equal branch of government, the Congress could authorize some of this and hold open hearings with subpoenas, and they could start working through the huge list of names we have of people that need to be brought up there, who are both, some are cooperating, some are not cooperating, high value whistleblowers or targets, and it should be run to ground. Now, so far, neither the Congress, with their weak hearings that have had nobody of any significance testify in front of them, frankly, and the release of information from the White House, it has been significantly less than what we released in 2001 at our first National Press Club event here in Washington, where I am today. And I think that the other point is that even Project Blue Book back in the 60s released more dispositive information than has come out in this first tranche of information.
Yeah, the first tranche, even the second tranche, far, far less quality than what Greer brought us. God, I miss that freaking... That was a good time, man. When Greer brought his people, those 40 people on stage. Wasn't there some 400 witnesses, but 40 made it on the stage? Something like that. Dorothy knows. Dorothy did the transcripts for it. Amazing shit. There's an air serviceman. I can't remember his name. Charles Hall. Guys, this is one of those people you can never trust. This guy's as dirty as the desert of Iwo Jima. I don't know. Charles Hall said that while serving as a weather observer deep in the Nevada desert in the 60s, he encountered a mysterious race known as the Tall Whites, towering, pale beings living near a hidden military installation. Bullshit. Don't believe this guy. This guy's awful. He's another one of those people who you can't believe. I'm trying to think of other...
Only come down to where I was. The mothers liked to bring the children down to look through my theodolite.
2 eyes, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 noses.
I was tracking the balloon. They always came armed. One of the weapons they could set to hypnotize a person, and it was common to have missing time experiences. So at the base, they have up in Area 54, there's a more or less permanent contingent of tall whites. They had a technology exchange program with the U.S. Air Force. One of the biggest shocks is they were so similar to us. Sometimes when you'd see them out in the desert, they'd be wearing were clearly clothes straight out of the Sears catalog. It probably took me more than 6 months to get over the terror that I felt when they came, even though they had not come to harm me. They were really quite friendly.
In those 54 seconds, listening to him sounds like the biggest bullshit. And look, I'm not going to say, I think it influenced my listening abilities to whether or not I think he's telling the truth or not. He just doesn't sound truthful to me. Sorry. You may want to believe him, but I really can't. I tried. I really did. I tried. You know the dark journalist? I like him. I think he's a little misinformed about some things and doesn't really understand the nuances of ufology because he's not a full-time dude in it. Dark journalist and Dr. Joseph Farrell go deep on the ongoing national security crisis of the missing UFO scientists and General McCaslin and, all those missing and dead people. How come nobody ever gets that right? It's not just missing. It's missing and dead. In one news thing, I think it was Fox, they said, and the 12 dead scientists, and they're not all dead. The reporting on, and it just sucks. All right, go.
But if we go into Albuquerque and we see McCaslin, General McCaslin, Major General, going missing, Joseph, on his level, especially since through the WikiLeaks emails being leaked in 2016, and we know about this, on his level, isn't that a national security crisis, the fact that he's missing?
Absolutely, it's a national security crisis, and that's what grabs me about his disappearance in particular. It's not being handled that way.
Yeah,
it's weird, So McCaslin disappearing, coming out of that airbase, I'm not buying it.
Joseph, what is the pattern? What is the pattern with them leaving behind their phones, leaving behind their glasses, leaving behind their wallets? And in some of these cases, there was a scientist up here who I think is also connected with this, named Jason Thomas, but he worked for Novartis. When he disappeared, he left his smartwatch in the mailbox for his wife to find. These are people, it seems like, are operating a protocol that says you're being called to this emergency meeting, leave all your possessions, leave all your electronic tracking devices.
I'll tell you why. When he was leaving, it's not that he was leaving on his own volition. Somebody was waiting for him outside. When he was leaving, he had his watch on. This is just my idea of what happened. Person in the car says, "Take your watch off, Dick. It's tracking everywhere you go." Takes it off. Starts walking back to the house. Just put it in the mailbox. We don't have time. Put it in there. That's what happens.
Yes.
Behind at home.
It is a protocol. That was the first thing that occurred to me. It's a protocol to get.
How do you know?
Get rid of anything that might have the potential of containing any sort of tracking device or any sort of.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to say he knows something, that it's protocol for them. It's not protocol. It's common sense. If somebody's going to abduct you, right? They don't want to be tracked. I just had an idea. The ones who died, maybe they didn't want to go, right? Maybe they went against what they were supposed to do. And they said, okay, you don't want to come? All right. And then eventually they were taken out, right? The ones who did go, I keep thinking of Close Encounters of the Third Kind at the end of the movie, when you saw a bunch of people dressed in red, and they were the chosen few to get on the ship to study the ET and their technology. Right? I think that's what's happened. Maybe, just maybe, these alien beings took the scientists and or whatever they did, whoever worked in the programs, took them. Not because they knew shit and were going to tell the public, but they took them to take them to other places in the universe so they can be teachers. Maybe? I'm just saying. Maybe. I think that would be a nice way to go. All right. I'll leave my family and everything I know to go to that planet and teach little tall whites or tall short grays.
Of listening device on it. Just get rid of it. It's suggestive. It's highly suggestive that that's a first layer protocol.
Boy, he is hard to look at. The way he talks, I can't stand that.
That at some point these people may have been taken to a place where their clothes were changed.
You should have fixed that when you were 6. Look at him.
Changed, their appearance changed. You know, it may
Sorry.
be. It may be a multi-layered protocol thing that we're looking at. That's why this whole thing is so weird.
Yes.
It struck me that very same way. And the other thing that I find very weird about it, Daniel, is the kind of, I don't know about you, in McCaslin's case alone, as you've pointed out, that's a national security issue. In fact, yes. I blogged about it and said basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So why is the reaction so tepid?
Yes.
It's that pot should be boiling.
No question.
And we don't see anything. There, at the minimum, you would think that there would be an occasional alert on television or radio. Have you seen this man? If so, here's the description, call such and such a number. We're not seeing any of that.
That's right. What a great point. I didn't think of that.
No. And he disappeared in this very tiny corridor of time between when his wife goes, she's going to the doctor or somewhere, and she comes back within an hour. In that time, a workman at the house has seen him. So he just, in this little window, he disappears entirely, and they can't trace him at all. Nothing. That's very coordinated, it seems.
That's coordinated, and it suggests there may be another protocol in play that these people might be receiving some kind of signal.
Right.
It's time to ditch, bail out now. Meet at such and such. There's so much about this is fishy.
No question.
Pretty wild, right? If you really think about it. First of all, we need to have Amy Eskridge removed from this list because she wasn't part of the team that McCaslin, overlooked. She was just on her own, right? Anyway, it is what it is. And that's what's going on. But I watched the movie Sleeping Dog, and I liked it. And I thought it was really interesting seeing Jeremy, getting emotional and breaking down, almost crying on camera and saying, "Don't show this." And I thought for a second, okay, he's pulling a Greer, he's making believe. No. The way Jeremy got emotional, it's hard to fake what he did if you watch the movie. I thought the movie was made well. It could have been a little better here and there, but it did its job. It got the message across, and it does show, in my opinion, Jeremy being played by the government. And I'm not so sure that Knapp, if he wasn't there, that Jeremy would have all this accessibility. But I'm not so sure. Somehow, some way, Jeremy is convincing whistleblowers that they could trust him. And he's got the trust. He doesn't blow anybody out of the water with, hey, don't tell anybody this. Sure, I won't. And then he does. He's not that guy. He's a trustworthy guy when it comes to this UFO mystery. Now, it's been a few days since I've seen it, and I wanted to talk about it right after I saw it so I don't forget everything I saw. So pieces are missing in my mind right now that I definitely wanted to talk about. But they'll come. I'm just trying to remember the beginning of the movie and then work, because the last thing I remember is at the end of the movie, towards the end, the last 15 minutes, he goes to the desert with 5 or 6 gallons of water and a shovel. And he pulls over, gets out, starts digging. Not too far off the road, maybe 20 feet. And uses the water to loosen the hard rocks, very hard, compact desert dirt. And he gets to a point where he hits something, and it was a box, a lockbox. And he takes this lockbox, opens it up, and it's got a little something like one of these, like an external hard drive type of thing that you connect into the computer, and you put your little chip in there, your SD card, and bloop. And what I saw was a bunch of UFO videos that were all files and names and everything. It was box number 4. I don't know how many boxes he has in the desert, randomly strewn about in California. But some of those videos were released in the tranche number 2. Can we stop saying tranche? I'm just going to say file number 2. I hate the word tranche. It reminds me of, I don't know, like a vagina. It's all I think about when I hear the word tranche. You got a nice tranche. It's like the C word, basically. Anyway, then, he did some interviews on news channels and talked about some of the sightings and things and all that, yeah, we've seen a couple of those, where they were in that UFO file that was just released. Weird that he would think the stuff that we're seeing in these files is worthy of hiding in the desert. I would... What we're seeing is not worthy to be hidden in the desert. None of it is. Zero. It's awful evidence. I don't care if there's something there that we can't figure out. It's not aliens. It's not alien technology. I have yet to see anything that tells me that they're here, have always been here, are visiting here, are gonna be here. I haven't seen any of it. Not in these 2 files that came out. Not in any congressional hearing from any witness, from anyone with any clearance for top secret shit, or they just happen to stumble upon stuff. Because everything we're hearing, we already know. And everything we're seeing is not worthy of our eyes. So then I have to, think about what Jeremy's going through for nothing? We're seeing nothing. If you take anything away from me tonight, believe me when I tell you, this isn't disclosure. This isn't the beginning of disclosure. This is nothing, and I don't get it. I, for the life of me, don't understand why. And it's frustrating. I really don't know. I keep thinking, okay, this is just to warm us up, right? It's to get the idea out to the public. I'll calm down. How long do we have to keep doing this? After David Grush did his congressional hearing, the following 6 months, we should have gotten these files, and we should be way further ahead than where we are now. All we've seen are whistleblowers like Jake Barber talking about his connection with the egg, and a bunch of other bullshit we've seen that really doesn't hold any value to a disclosure world, alien disclosure. Of course there's something going on. Of course there's legacy programs. Of course there's back engineering of something. But I think all of the stuff that our government has, it's from ancient civilizations, 50 to 100,000 years ago. I don't know. But I tell you what, whatever's underneath the pyramids and the Sphinx is awfully huge. Is it all connected? It seems like it would be at this point with what they're giving us. And then the object that's allegedly heading towards Earth will be here next year. Could that be some sort of passenger ship? I don't know. But the movie, and maybe this is why people didn't really push me to go see it, didn't say, you got to see it. Nobody said that to me. Everybody said it sucked. And I liked it. What's wrong with me? I think it depends on who you are and what you do in your voyage, in your journey, to find out the truth to UFOs and aliens. And I find my story pretty similar to Jeremy's in the beginning. In the beginning, I felt like I was being groomed to be the guy. I was going on very good shows within the first 6 months. After a year, I was already on 2 documentaries, 2 TV shows, and planning on going on Art Bell, which then he got sick, and you know the story. Then I wound up being on Art Bell's Midnight in the Desert with my show, keeping his seat warm, as we called it, with guess who leading into me? Who's that guy? The other guy. Oh my God, I can't believe I just forgot his name. He always sells coffee. He's got the guitars on the back of his show. Well, anyway, when his show was done, he introduced me. And then I didn't get along with the producer, who was Art Bell's producer, because certain things I was saying, so I left. Shouldn't have, but I did. And then wound up doing other stuff, but what does all this mean right now? What does it all mean? I can't figure it out for the life of me. Jimmy Church. That's the guy who. Coming up right now is Rich Giordano show, whatever show I had at the time. That was weird back then. I felt like I was being groomed. Everything fell apart though. They shut down seeingufos.com. Super huge virus. Nobody can figure it out. It was so bad. When I took it to Best Buy to have them fix it in my laptop, I still have the laptop. It broke. Whatever virus is in that laptop broke their diagnostics machine, they said. It gave it the virus. Brought it to another guy. Didn't tell him. He goes, he gives me back the thing, gives me back $200. He says, I don't know what this is, but I don't want it. I said, what happened? He says, I have to get a new computer now. Why? He goes, bro, whatever's in there is not healthy. That's his words. Wasn't healthy. I didn't tell him the virus took out Best Buy's diagnostic machine. I just said, I have a virus. It needs to be taken out. Save the data in there. It's my website. Sure. 2 hours later, come get your thing. Come get your laptop. I'll give you your money back. I can't fix it. I said, what? He goes, not on the phone. I'll see you when you get here. Pretty weird, right? I wonder what happened. The guy never answered the phone again. Get this. I go to his house. 2 weeks later, he moved out. Him and his wife. He wasn't moving. That was my friend who I brought it to. Yeah, like an acquaintance type of guy. Met him at work. We had a lot in common. UFOs. He made my website. I figured if anybody can get rid of anything, a virus, he could. Took it to him, and it's the last I ever heard of him. Then I was followed. Not once, but twice. Got him on video. So many things happened in the beginning. When I hear Jeremy's story, I can relate. I kind of feel bad for the guy. Because I really do believe he's getting taken for a ride. He admitted it. He said it's a possibility. But what's he going to do? He doesn't know for sure. You just keep going and going and going and going and going until you can't go. Thank God George Knapp's there to give him some really good advice. I like George Knapp again. Look, I said a lot of bad things about Jeremy Corbell. We all have, most of us. Maybe I went overboard a little. But I'm passionate too. You know? I have emotions. Jeremy's a passionate guy. I saw it in that movie. I don't think it was faked. But being in this UFO field is dangerous if you want to make some waves. People may want to take you out. And I don't mean out to coffee. Off the planet. And I don't mean an alien space ride. In that movie, he did mention he doesn't know if he's being played. I think he is. You know why. I've mentioned it. How many times? 12, 13 times he's given us evidence. Debunked. The bokeh, the radar thing, the flares. There were witnesses on the ground. They saw and they come to find out flares. I can't remember them all. The only one that I haven't debunked is the jellyfish. And I don't know, I don't think it's balloons, but it's weird. It looks like a floating creature with electronics hanging off of it. Who knows why? But balloon it is not. Unless the whole thing is made to look like it's several pieces, but it's just 3D art on a balloon. Could be. That's how you trick people. You want them to think there's many separate pieces and not have each piece be a balloon and have it move, in the wind and bouncing off each other. You make one balloon, you do it with whatever technology that can do this, and you paint 3D art on it of electronics, something that, we can't explain. That's what I think it might be. But I don't know. But Jeremy Corbell is given this information with the promise not to disclose who gave it to him and to show it to the public the way it was given to him. Not his own thoughts, not his opinion, not his debunking thing, whatever. Not George Knapp. Him. And everything we've debunked. To me, he's being played. He's being used. Let's just say it. He's being used to give disinfo to throw the scent off. What? I don't know. Because we haven't seen anything. Oh. I just answered the question. We haven't seen anything. Isn't that great? He was on the phone with a guy. And the guy said, they'll take out my family. If anybody knows it's me, you can't, tell anybody. I'm paraphrasing, basically. But, that hit Jeremy hard. Like, Jesus, man. People are telling me this stuff. And they trust me to not give out their name or anything about them because their families could be wiped out. That's a lot of pressure on Jeremy. I've had that conversation with people before, but not to the point where the family would be. But I've had experiencers who were in the military. This was 20 years ago, when I was trying to get going in the beginning with the AZ UFO show and get guests and everything else. And this guy reached out to me, said, I heard your show. I mean, I only did 2 episodes. And I could already tell you've already figured out some things, and can we talk? I'm like, sure. And we did. And when he called me, no phone number showed up. It was just 2 dashes. That's it. Back then, I couldn't screenshot it. I couldn't do anything. It was basically, here you go, Actually, this phone is from, believe it or not, 2004. That's the phone that has the message on it. There's data on this phone, which is why I have it. I wanted to plug it in, and I can't find a way to charge it yet. It's got one of these. I found a what is that, 3-volt? Anyway, I found a connection that I might be able to charge this up and see these messages that came in. If it works, if the phone even will give me that data, I don't know. Jeremy's got a lot to look out for. But I don't think his life is in danger. He has had death threats. Get this, his mother and his wife had death threats. How sad is that? You know who else? Family got death threats? Mine too. That's why I don't put family on my Facebook or anywhere. And my mother doesn't why? What do you care? And I'm like, look, you don't understand. You don't want people to know you. And they probably already do. Anyway. So the movie, in my opinion, was pretty good. He talked to John Lear, who I think, and Bob Lazar was in the movie, believe it or not. I think John Lear is the father, illegitimate father, maybe, is that how you say it, of Bob Lazar. When they were sitting next to each other, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. They do look a lot alike. And then Jeremy had pictures of John Lear when he was younger. Got to tell you. I mean, I thought I was looking at a young Bob Lazar. A little variation, but same structure in the jaw. Of course, Bob kept himself in some thin shape. And John Lear got kind of heavy. He looked like he was 300 pounds at one point. What a horrible ending to a man's life. It was sad to see him the way he looked at the end, near the end anyway. And still smoking cigars. He's one of those, I'll do what I want till the day I die. God love you. So you see a lot of sensitive stuff that way in the movie. I'm trying to think of other things in the movie. There's so much I can't remember them all, and I didn't think I would need to make notes for the show. To be honest with you, hold on a second. I want to check something real quick. Okay, let me see something here. Okay. I pulled up some things about the movie so I could just read it to you. So it says here, it's a distinct look at the chaotic life of investigative journalist Jeremy Corbell. Rather than being a standard talking head summary of UFO sightings, the film serves as a part biographical, part suspense portrait tracking Corbell's decade-long evolution from a mixed martial artist into one of the most polarizing and influential figures pushing for modern UFO disclosure. Here's another overview of the key elements covered in the documentary. The realities and pressure of UFO journalism, which we were talking about. The film explores the intense personal toll, obsession, and danger that comes with chasing government secrecy. Corbell is tracked from his early days, at one point admitting on camera that his UFO obsession is a sickness, to his modern role protecting military and intelligence whistleblowers. And the documentary highlights the heavy weight of paranoia, featuring insights from his wife, Danielle, and reveal that is so weird, her name, and revealing the severe pressure he faces, including tapped phones, unauthorized intimidation by officials, and explicit safety warnings from agents advising him not to drive or be in parking lots alone. Yeah, they told him, don't go in garages, like parking garages. Don't park there. Don't drive anywhere alone, which he did, I think. And to get a gun, carry a piece with him. Also, they told him to get anti-toxin, anti-something, just in case he gets poisoned. They told him to get this antioxidant. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but something that will counteract or save his life in case he gets poisoned. Then, number 2, the core legacy and witnesses. The film weaves in never before seen footage from Corbell's earliest inquiries and archives, which I thought was cool, mapping his trajectory through encounters with some of the most prominent names in UFO lore. George Knapp, Corbell's longtime mentor, serves as what Corbell calls an island of sanity in the film. Knapp provides a grounded anchor, even laughing off the routine death threats and surveillance he has faced over his 40-year career. Yeah, it's funny because they were talking about the death threats, and George, towards the end of the movie, he's like, you know what, man? I've heard so many death threats that at this point, at my age, bring it on, he says. I don't give a shit. He says, I'm whatever. And not easy for Corbell at 50 just to say, come on. You don't want to egg on. And then Knapp says something very interesting. If they're going to take you out, they're not going to warn you about it. They're just going to do it. Bob Lazar and John Lear, as I was saying, the film dives back into the Viper's Pit of Area 51 mythology. It features his extensive interviews with the late aviation figure, John Lear. Crucially, the film highlights Corbell's approach to sorting signal from noise, showing him validate Lear's accurate late 80s documents. Hold on, somebody's bugging me here. It won't stop if I don't say anything. Crucially, the film highlights Corbell's approach to sorting signal from noise, showing him validate Lear's accurate late 80s documents on Area 51 while actively debunking Lear's more eccentric claims like Greys controlling soul suckers on the moon. Yeah. The modern whistleblowers. You know, Bob Lazar says that our bodies are just canisters. Isn't that what Bob Lazar said? They're just canisters. Or was that Lear? I can't remember. The modern whistleblowers. Well, the documentary connects historical lore to the modern disclosure movement, featuring appearances and testimony from former intelligence officer David Grushgrush and retired Navy Commander David Fravor, the pilot behind the 2004 Tic Tac, bada bada bada. And then there was additional insiders the film pulls from a massive web of interviews, including Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell, researcher John Alexander, and scientist Edmund Storms. Style and presentation. Reviewers have noted that the film uses a chaotic montage-heavy editing effect reminiscent of a retro new age thriller. I didn't really get that vibe. It blends raw voicemails, direct testimonies, and behind the scenes footage to put the audience directly inside the high stress environment of an active investigation. Ultimately, the documentary is less about providing definite answers to what is in the sky and more about Corbell's fierce stance on the right to report. As he concludes in the film, an independent journalist in America should not be actively threatened by intelligence agencies, corporations, or private individuals for seeking the truth. That's all it says. I thought it was good. An hour and 38 minutes. Trying to think what else was in the movie. It was just the overall vibe of the movie. It was. It was a good vibe. It had a good flow. I thought some things could have been a little better, but that's the way Travesky, is that how you say his name? Isn't it Travensky? Let me see here. It said it earlier. Lazovsky. Michael Lazovsky. Anyway, in my opinion, I think Corbell is getting the runaround. He's being used as a disinfo agent. Because what I think, the military, whoever's giving him this information, and we debunk every single thing he's ever given us, right? Everything's been debunked. And the reason for that is when these people in the government, military, whatever, saw these objects, they were fooled, right? And they thought, oh my God, I thought that was a da-da-da-da-da. I thought it was a disc-shaped craft. I didn't know it was a balloon. Right. So you mean to tell me you have this footage and you couldn't figure it out, but put it on the internet and within 5 minutes we have it debunked? It may have fooled the government at one point, or they know that these objects look like UFOs but aren't. Splash, splash. What was that? A falling flare? Right? It was nothing. It was nothing. Splash, splash. And the Boca thing, they got triangle craft, they still showed it in the movie. It's triangle craft. It's just 1 to 2 miles wide. I'm like, oh no. Damn it. But I do not blame Jeremy 100%. His job is to take the information given to him, dissemminate it to the public the way it was given. That's it. Whether he believes it or not, that it's a real UFO, alien craft, top secret, back engineered, whatever, doesn't matter. That wasn't his job to give his opinion. He just gave it to the public. And the people he talks to, the whistleblowers, they're not saying anything new. I don't know, man. I think Jeremy's a accidental disinfo. He doesn't know it, but he's definitely a disinfo agent. Well, stop. He's not a disinfo agent. That would mean he knows what he is. He's being used to give us bad information. And that's that. All right, that's it for tonight. Hey, thank you everybody for hanging out on a Monday, Memorial Day. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. And thanks. And you guys, tomorrow we all go back to work. Well, you do. I do too. I'm going to work. Yeah, I got work to do tomorrow. Actually, I got a lot of work I have to do tomorrow. So yeah, we're all back to work tomorrow. And just be safe out there. I know there's a lot of summer. It's not summer yet, but summer storms, summer storms are happening. Tornadoes, hail, lightning, thunder, flooding, and the works. So be safe wherever you're at. And that's it. Hey, I don't make the rules, right? But one thing I know, if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out. For ufology, get your head out of the phones and look up once in a while. Then use your phone to take pictures and video. How about that? You ever think of that? No. All right, I'll see you guys. Be safe out there, please. Alien bless.
And the blood you claim built the structure of your veins. Touch a species, how to rise. Now we watch it fossilize. Governments denied the breach till our shadows cross the streets. Regulations broken first. Now your cities meet the purge. You build weapons from your hate, still too weak to change your fate. Every satellite you send only shows your species. Disappear without a trace.
Ooh.